What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I was on YouTube earlier, and I seen a video Carcino had put up. Shouts out to Carcino. And he posed a question to his audience. He said, who wins in a fight, Nonito Donaire versus Gary Russell Jr., if they were to fight hypothetically? He also said, leave a comment and let me know who you think wins and why, and explain it scientifically. Some of the comments that were left were just completely ridiculous. Things like, Mayweather's dunking Pacquiao. Like, what the fuck does Pacquiao have to do with Nonito Donaire and Gary Russell Jr.? I didn't understand that, and it kind of leads me to today's topic, what I want to talk about in this video. And that's just some of you outrageous, outlandish, fanatical YouTube boxing critics or fans, whatever you call yourself. Um, Usually, when I talk to people on boxing, whether we agree or disagree, I could tell if they have boxing knowledge or if they really follow the sport. Because even if we disagree, the examples they use, the sources they cite, the statements they make, the fights they reference, sometimes it's not popular fights or it's not any one person. So I can tell, I can gather, even if we disagree or agree, that they're pretty well rounded. And then some of you guys, you don't hear a peep from them. And then Amir Khan, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo, certain fighters are mentioned. Pacquiao's a huge one. And when certain fighters are mentioned, all of a sudden you come out of the woodwork and I see your name on every video associated with Pacquiao or Mayweather or whoever the person you're obsessed with. And it's hilarious to me. Like, do some of y'all have ADD? You need some Ritalin? You just bounce from video to video, like you can't stay on. I don't know. I just don't agree or understand where some of you guys come from. And again, it's not about who agrees with me or who doesn't, because I really don't give a shit. I put my insight out there for people, and either it resonates with them or it doesn't. But I'm gonna be truthful to myself and just put it out there as I see it and call it as I see it. And I try to give everyone a fair shake and put out boxing videos. So it's really not about who sees it my way, because we can not see eye to eye, but that's not going to make me disrespect you. But if you come at me disrespectful, then who knows what happened. Anyway, so it led me to believe that some of you guys just don't know boxing. Some of you that comment on every boxing video, you just really don't know boxing. So I want to give some insight to a situation that I've seen in the boxing community that's being talked about, and it's Brandon Rios versus Mike Alvarado, and it's being compared to Timothy Bradley versus Ruslan Provodnikov. Now, you can't compare these two fights in terms of them both being slugfest, them both being exciting, potential fight of the year type fights. But what some of you guys are trying to compare is the stoppage in the Alvarado Rios fight, and you're saying things that, like, oh, Alvarado was stopped prematurely and he wasn't as hurt as Timothy Bradley. So the Timothy Bradley fight is bogus. Timothy Bradley sucks, blah, 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 because that fight should have been over in round 2 when he was really badly hurt. The referee should have stopped it. And another way to kind of tell, and where some of the non-real boxing fans, you could tell because it bleeds through, is some of you guys say the things that Jim Lampley says or Max Kellerman, or things that I know you probably heard while you were watching the fight. If you talk about Timothy Bradley and Manny Pacquiao, some of the comments are the exact same thing Jim Lampley was saying. You know what I mean? You might as well just put bang, bang, bang if you want to be Jim Lampley. But you have to think for yourself. Come to your own conclusions. What do you see? Not what does Jim Lampley see, and then you go around spewing that, or whoever the person is, Roy Jones, whoever it is. You got to learn to think for yourselves and have your own opinion, formulate your own opinion. Some of you guys are puppets, and you just go around repeating what you see in the media or what you hear Freddie Roach say, or whoever the person is, Skip Bayless. Sometimes he says some outlandish things like, oh, whatever he says. He just says crazy shit. Pacquiao will beat Mayweather. Mayweather's ducking him. He's a chicken. And then you guys are the ones that come back and Skip Bayless said it, so it must be true. Now, as far as the Timothy Bradley, Ruslan Provodnikov, and the Brandon Rios dilemma, those situations are completely different for a variety of reasons. Again, the only comparison I could really make is that they're both highly entertaining, slugfest, edge of your seat entertainment. But as far as the stoppage, you can't even compare it. Timothy Bradley, if you watch that particular fight, It didn't get stopped for a variety of reasons. Let me just break it down to you. Timothy Bradley. In that fight, there was a belt on the line. Timothy Bradley put his belt on the line. Usually in boxing, by and large, if it's a title fight where there's someone's belt is on the line and someone's hurt, usually the ref will give that person a little bit more time to recuperate just because there's so much at stake. So that's one thing. Brandon Rios and Mike Alvarado wasn't a title championship fight. It was a great fight, but it wasn't for anybody's title. So that's one thing. Two, some of you guys are arguing that, oh, the ref shouldn't have stopped Alvarado and Timothy Bradley didn't they let him fight on and he was worse off. Well, that wasn't the same ref. So despite what another ref did in a completely different fight, that really has no bearing on the current ref in the current situation. Do you honestly think in the heat of the moment during the action, a referee is going to be thinking like, oh, okay, Mike Alvarado, when he fought Brandon Rios in October, that got stopped, so maybe I should stop Timothy Bradley. No, he's going to base it off what he sees with his own two eyes, what the fighter's doing, making eye contact with the fighter, and he's using his judgment. So as far as comparing what two separate refs did, I mean, that's completely stupid just because they're two different people and it's all based on their judgment. Just like a scorecard. Some people have fights way out of whack and have it really lopsided, and then when I watch it and when I talk to people, they had it a lot closer margin. So you can't really compare what two separate refs are going to do, especially when they're in the ring. And this is the biggest thing with the difference, in my opinion, between Ruslan Provodnikov and Timothy Bradley. If you watch the Timothy Bradley, and I prepared some video clips at the end of this video, so make sure you watch that. If you watch Bradley, he's badly hurt. You could tell, you could see it in his eyes. He looks really badly hurt, and he's against the ropes. But the big thing that he did to keep the fight going was he was throwing punches. He was badly hurt. He was rocked. He received some monstrous shots, but he was still throwing punches. Now, you can say they weren't effective punches or they weren't hurting Ruslan Provodnikov. Ineffective or effective, it doesn't matter. He was still showing that he was a live dog and he wasn't ready to go at that moment by the fact that he was still moving and still throwing punches, trying to get the guy that was swarming him off of him. Now, look at Mike Alvarado versus Bam Bam Rios. You'll see something different. Brandon Rios threw a punch and rocked Mike Alvarado. His leg almost gave out. He gets backed up against the wall. Watch where his gloves are. His hands are almost down low by his waist, and he takes shot after shot after shot unanswered. He does not throw a punch. So the referee seeing that, seeing him basically stunned and defenseless, not protecting himself, taking big shots from a power puncher, of course he's going to stop it. It's not the same. Timothy Bradley, at the very least, was doing something back. He was responding. Ruslan wasn't just throwing punches and he was just like eating them and not doing that. I mean, he was at least trying. Where Mike Alvarado in that situation, he was just so shocked, like, bow, oh, this is really happening, that he wasn't caught up and he wasn't defending himself. So he just took too many unanswered punches, which is why I think that fight got stopped. You can argue that he wasn't as badly hurt as Bradley, but the smart thing to do would be to either hold or for him to have thrown some punches to say, like, you know what I mean, to signify that he's okay to keep going. I mean, if you keep taking shots, it's going to be over for you. So that's the big difference, in my opinion. Watch the video clips after and you'll see exactly what I'm saying. When Alvarado was hurt, it's what he did when he was hurt versus what Bradley did when he was hurt. You'll see Bradley was still moving, and on top of it being a title fight, so they usually give you more of a benefit of doubt. But either way, Bradley was still moving, still throwing punches, trying to get this guy off him. Whereas when Brandon Rios was just connecting, hands were down low, and he's just getting rocked and rocked and rocked more and more and more. So honestly, it's Alvarado's fault for not being able to do anything if you were to compare the two situations. I'm not saying it's fault because he got hit with the hard shot that would have probably dropped other people. So he tried, but again, those stoppages and lack of stoppages you can't compare because they're two different circumstances, two different refs, and most importantly, they did two different things when they were hurt. So watch the videos. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think Alvarado and Rios was stopped prematurely? When I actually watched the Rios-Alvarado the first time, I thought it was premature stoppage. However, I watched it again in preparation for their rematch, and then I realized that's a good stoppage. The stoppage was pretty on time, based on Alvarado's lack of response to the big shots that he was taking. I think initially when I watched it, it was just so much adrenaline. Alvarado was ahead on the scorecards to me. He was dictating a good pace. They were both getting shots off. So I think I just didn't want it to end. So I was like, oh, that stoppage was kind of premature. But going back and looking at the fighter's health and safety, I don't think it was a premature stoppage based on, again, what I said. Too many unanswered punches. Whereas Timothy Bradley was hurt, but he was still swinging for the fences, trying to connect and that kind of thing. So again, you could say those punches didn't do anything or they're ineffective, but actually they did do something because it kept him from getting knocked out, and it also kept him from getting the fight stopped in the TKO. So leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. That's all I really have to say. I'm looking forward to Rios versus Alvarado. I'm going to do a key to victory video right after this. So look forward to that. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Until next video, it's Ego signing off.